Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Hello. Hi.
Can you hear me? Oh, hi, great. Good evening, everybody.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. All right, great. So, welcome, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. I look forward to all of the conversations that we are about to have. So my name is Bukky Amosun, Community Manager at Techeconomy, and first of all, I want to start by thanking everybody for being here today, and also thanking Techeconomy for the opportunity to be the one handling and hosting this month's Techeconomy Business Series. And I look forward to many more to come. So this month, we are focusing on Agentic AI and the future of work. The topic for this month is automating business process for growth, efficiency, and competitive advantage. And okay, so first of all, I think before we dive fully into the conversation, I also want to acknowledge all of the speakers that are on the call right now. Thank you so much as well for the opportunity to join us to have this conversation. And like I said before, I'm really looking forward to all of the conversations that we are about to have today. I'm looking forward to learn a lot also from you. So to our audiences as well, thank you for being here. And just be sure everyone is following. I don't know, maybe you could use the chat box to just make your name and where you're joining in from. By the way, I'm joining in from Lagos, Nigeria. So just to be sure I have everyone carried along, you tell me where you're joining from. I'll move forward when I start to see your comments. Oh, great. All right. The rest of the conversation today, I would also just want to maybe set some ground rules to just help with the flow of the entire conversation today. So to my speaker, hi Tosin, great to have you here as well. So maybe we could just leave our cameras turned on to our speakers when you're speaking, and also when you are not speaking, you could just mute your mic to also control the audio of the entire live stream. Right. So yeah, for the audience in the midst of the conversation, you could always drop it in the chat box and we would be sure to pick it up if we have time eventually. So yeah, moving on, I think we can now go to the speaker's introduction. So if the media team is ready, we could proceed to play that.
Introducing Oluwatomi Obinna Alagbe, a seasoned cybersecurity expert with over decades of experience across cybersecurity, fintech, and crypto. Currently a staff software engineer at Malwarebyte in Estonia. Tomi works at the front line of digital defense, protecting businesses and individuals from emerging cyber threats. Its expertise in security engineering and risk management has helped organizations in connected world. Meet Peter Ndukwo, professionally known as Ospitan, a blockchain security researcher protecting billions of dollars in digital assets. Ranked among the world's top security researchers, Peter has helped secure major protocols including Chainlink, Aves, and Zeta Chain. As a Web3 security researcher and ZK security contributor at ZPL Labs. He specializes in identifying vulnerable cyber criminals can exploit them, helping build a safer future for blockchain innovation. Abisola Rachael Aderohunmu is an award-winning AI product leader, mentor, and business advisor, driving innovation at the intersection of artificial intelligence and business growth. As product manager lead at Heala Tech, she leads the development of AI-powered healthcare solutions that improve access, efficiency, and outcomes. With experience spanning health tech, fintech, insurtech, and digital banking, Abisola is helping organizations turn AI potentials into measurable impact. Francis Udogu is a data-driven digital marketing manager, growth expert, and product-led growth specialist with a proven record of scaling brands across fintech, edtech, healthcare, retail, and sports. Through strategic marketing, customer acquisition, and growth-focused innovation, he has helped businesses expand their reach, optimize performance, and achieve sustainable growth. His expertise lies in transforming data into actionable strategies.
All right, thank you very much, Media, for the introduction. And once more, again, I say welcome to all of our amazing speakers here. I look forward to our conversation. So without further ado, we'll just dive into the business of the day, right? So as we all know, we are moving from AI as just being a tool that will just assist humans to AI systems that can actually take actions, automate workflows and make decisions for you. So I think I'm just going to throw an open question to everyone. We'll just go one by one. So from your perspective and from your industry, what would you say this shifts towards agentic AI mean for the future of work and businesses? So I'll just start with Mr. Francis.
Okay, so from a digital marketing perspective, the shift from agentic AI for businesses, businesses implementing agentic AI, where what that means is they have to find ways to automate their business processes. They have to find ways to improve and scale their businesses. So in terms of customer acquisition, I'll use that as an example. AI should enable businesses identify high intent prospects. In terms of marketing, you should be able to optimize their advertising spend and also help businesses target the right audiences with greater precision. So AI generally in businesses should improve conversion rates while reducing customer acquisition costs. You know how people run campaigns, people run online campaigns, probably via Facebook or Instagram or Google Ads, any kind of campaign at all. Now, with the implementation of AI, businesses can actually reduce that acquisition cost. And what AI would do is AI would show those campaign or those ads to potential audience or potential customers who are most likely going to interact with your campaign or with your ads. So that would automatically reduce acquisition costs or your ad spend. In terms of customer engagement, AI would personalize customers' journey at a very large scale. It will also analyze customer behavior. It will analyze their preferences, and it will deliver tailored content to your target audience. If businesses can implement the use of AI, it can create more meaningful experiences and strengthen customer loyalty. in summary, I would say the emergence of agentic AI takes a step further by enabling AI systems to make decisions for businesses. And it is not just going to, most people feel like AI is replacing marketers, it's replacing digital marketing managers. No, it's actually going to enhance your ability to think strategically, to be more creative, and to be able to make better decisions. Organizations, startups, SMEs, any kind of business that implements AI would actually thrive and scale with the implementation of AI. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Francis. Okay, so I think I'm going to throw the same question to Tomi, Oluwatomi. So from your perspective also, what would you say that means for the future of work and business? You're muted.
I'm sorry. So I'll take it from the perspective of the software and cybersecurity industry, and software businesses as well. So the first thing that's happened is obviously the bottleneck to producing useful software is no longer coding, laborious process. But now we have AI agents and harnesses that can do that in minutes or hours or days, depending on the software. So right now, in real time, we're watching the job evolve from just writing code to instead managing agents and deciding not just what code gets written, but what to build, what to not build, which is also equally important. Verifying what works and what doesn't work, and things like evaluation to make sure these systems behave the way they're expected and maintain quality over time. So we're seeing basically the bottleneck in software engineering move from the actual engineering to the more business or taste side of things, where it's more about your decision making and your tastes. And then obviously it also brings up some implications, like on the security fronts. There's also potentials for things like prompt injection, which is probably one of the most popular security vulnerabilities with LLM-powered or AI agent-backed software, where attackers can gain access or expose sensitive information from your systems by just tricking your AI models, basically typing some clever prompts to trick your AI models. So engineers and business stakeholders also have to be aware of the possible ways their system can basically be penetrated by malicious actors. And another on the other side, it has also provided like some advantages for the security industry. Recently, Claude Anthropic released the Fable, the Mythos model, and it basically drastically cuts down the amount of time it takes for a skilled security researcher, for instance, to discover vulnerabilities. Also for reduces the amount of manual work they have to do. So yeah, we're watching in real time as AI agents and LLM-based tools basically rewrites the way real processes have been automated away, and it's now more about your decision making, your taste, and also understanding the domain you're working in.
Thank you, Tommy. So I would jump to Abisola. I also want to hear your perspective on that.
Okay. Yeah. So from my own perspective as a product manager who has, built AI products, I would say that the transition to agentic technology, right? So it's about like changing how work gets done. Traditionally, before now, software has been very reactive. You see a button, a user then clicks that button and then enters the information and the system responds. However, with the agentic AI shifts and everything about AI today and the model, instead of like waiting for the instructions, AI agents can understand the goal, make decisions within the defined boundaries that you've given it as a product when you are like defining the entire system and models, collaborate with the other systems that you have in your, ecosystem, and also executes like multi-steps, on its own. So for businesses, I would say that this means moving beyond your task automation to like outcome automation. So you're no longer like asking, how do I automate this process as a business? You are already asking, how do I automate achieving this business objective? So there's already like a target for whatever you're doing with that AI agent, right? So for example, you are building like an AI chatbot. I mean, that is very rampant nowadays. And the only answers that customer questions is, hi, my name is Abisola, right? But the AI chatbot now knows the next workflow, what to ask you. It is now very conversational. So that is where, businesses want to, transition their business to. So I would say that business gain the most value in all these agentic AI transitioning into their business.
Great. Thank you so much, Abisola. So I'd go over to you, Mr. Peter.
All right. Hope you guys can hear me.
Very well.
Okay, so from the perspective of blockchain security and blockchain as a whole, AI is a very, very, very important tool. And adding to what the other speakers have said, I think one of the biggest advantage AI is giving to businesses is efficiency. Efficiency in terms of speed and ability to seize opportunities. Because there's this crazy thing that people who are at the frontier of utilizing AI, there's this crazy thing they are doing where ability to set up an AI workflow that goes 24/7, like all the time. So the AI is on and the AI is able to track changes that are happening in your space. The AI is able to seize opportunities that are emerging faster than a human being can. So I think that's a very big leverage point. And for businesses that will know how to implement it in their sector, they'll be able to outcompete their competitors and dominate the markets. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so I'm coming back to you, Abisola, right? So you've worked on AI-powered products across industries like health tech, fintech, and the likes. So when companies talk about adopting AI agents, where would you say they should begin? Like, how do they identify the right processes that they will need to automate instead of just adopting AI, because it's trending and they have maybe the FOMO?
That's such a very good question. Thank you. So yeah, I always tell companies, businesses, or even people that just want to build AI. I want to build an AI product. I want to build an AI product, right? I always tell them, don't start with AI. Start with the friction, right? Every organization has like a repetitive task today. They have bottlenecks. They have, things that doesn't just make that flow seamless for all users, right? And or decisions that consume time without creating like a proportional value for them in their business. So those are usually the best candidates or the best way to embed AI into your products. So as for me, a product manager, I look at like three things. What I want to build, is the task repetitive? Does it really rely heavily on structured or historical data? would I need anything to be able to improve the speed, the accuracy, or the customer experience? So if my answer is yes, then AI becomes an enabler, right? And at that point, it will not be AI is going to be the objective, or because I want to be able to embed AI into my products. It will be that AI is just going to make the, entire experience more effective, and it becomes the enabler. So across this health tech product that I've built, fintech product that I've built, and HR product that I've built, the most successful AI initiative weren't the flashy ones at all, right? So they are the ones that were able to solve specific business problem. For example, you want to speak to a doctor, right? How can I quickly make you speak to a doctor? What can AI do to get you to be able to, speak to a doctor? For example, in the HR tech part of things, I want to be able to improve your interview quality. What can AI do to be able to enable you improve your interview quality? So basically, those are the things that I had to look at, in terms of me trying to say, yes, I want to enable AI. So AI should not be a strategy on its own. It should be like a multiplier for an existing business strategy. Thank you.
So much, Abisola, for that question. All right, so I would move to Mr. Oluwatomi right now. So coming from a software engineer point of view, right? Most business leaders, people, they treat AI like a plug and play system, But I mean, as an engineer, I want to believe that it's far more complex than what we see. So what would you say companies are actually signing up for when they decide to integrate AI into their operations?
Well, the first thing I would explain to any business looking at integrating AI is that, first of all, LLMs, which is the technology that powers AI agents, are non-deterministic. That means if you put in the same inputs multiple times, you will get different outputs. They might be similar, but they will be different. This is in stark contrast to traditional software where it's what we call garbage in, garbage out. Like if you put in A, you would get out A. So there's a couple of things to make sure. There's obviously an inherent problem with like ensuring accuracy, consistency. LLMs are notorious for having hallucinations, and in your business operations, you don't want an agent that does what it wants instead of following your business processes. So there are a couple of things that you have to keep in mind if you want to implement an AI agent for your business. One is what type of data and what quality of data do you have to provide as context to these agents? Because one way to make sure agents give you quality outputs, quality outcome, is to provide them with quality context. Context is basically all the data, all the memory, and all the information that an agent would need to know about your business and your operations. And the quality of your context or the quality of your data will determine how well the agent performs. For instance, if you're trying to build a customer support agent, you'll probably give an agent information about your customer support processes, some rules to follow if maybe a customer is coming for has an issue with a particular product. You can provide maybe a link to the FAQ on how to solve that issue. So there's a whole field called context engineering that deals with how to build a context that an AI agent can utilize to provide quality outputs. There's also things like another thing you have is if you're trying to integrate an AI agent into your business process, that process also has to be well defined, because an unbounded or an agent that doesn't have clear boundaries, like what are the clear inputs and what are the clear expected outputs, would probably end up having access to things, information it doesn't need to have, thereby leaking information, which is also a security issue. So your agents have to have clear boundaries, and it also helps to narrow the scope and makes it easier to measure the outputs, the accuracy of that agent. Another thing that you have to be ready to do when you deploy an AI agent is continuous evaluation. So any serious business building AI agents or building LLM-powered software has to continuously run evaluations on their agents, or I would say prompts, because agents are basically built of prompts and tools and all that. So basically, evaluations is basically testing your agents against data. Depending on the industry, it can be custom data. First, I'll use customer support again because it's a very common use of AI. If you're building a customer support agent, you can have you can create like dummy or fake scenarios that that your customers might have, and the correct response to those scenarios, and then test your agent against those synthetic scenarios. It's called like synthetic data in the AI world. So that's one form of evaluation. There's also public evaluations that you can find on open source evaluation frameworks that you can use to also test your agents against like things like math, knowledge, simple question and answers, even things like web browsing and all. So evaluation is something that you must do because that's how you maintain the accuracy of your agents. So those are some of the things that you have to be ready to continually do. You have to keep your data clean, well-structured, up to date. You have to be ready to evaluate your agents constantly. And yeah, you also have to have well-defined bounded processes that the agents can be scoped under.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Tommy. So I'm going to move to Peter now. So your work focuses more on protecting blockchain systems and identifying vulnerabilities before they become major problems. So what lessons from Web3 security would you say businesses can apply when they adopt AI into their systems?
All right, that's a great question. So from the perspective of blockchain security, one of the major things I would say businesses can apply is just being aware that what the product is doing is probably not all it can do. So for example, so you can tell an AI to help you build a product or help you carry out a task. If you don't analyze all the side effects of the function that that task or that product is doing, there may be blind spots that the agent can, bring to the picture. And businesses have to be aware of this. And in blockchain security, especially when it comes to blockchain protocols, these things can be very costly. One small loophole, one small mistake, one small operation that was not well thought out could lead to a compromise, and the business can lose lots of money. The business can lose trust, especially in our generation where trust is a lot of things. And then, it causes more harm than the supposed benefit that it's supposed to give. So that's one thing. Businesses have to be aware, have the full picture of the risks that this AI is bringing in. So if it's running a product, don't just go along by, being flattered by how beautiful the product is. You have to test it for the intended cases, also test it for the unintended cases. Because when the risks begin to appear, or when attackers begin to come into the scene, they are not looking to use your product the way you want them to use it. They are going to find the loopholes. What are other ways that they could use it that you didn't think of? So if the system design is faulty, the whole framework falls apart. So that's something that businesses have to consider. They need to design the system properly and think about it before, selling it to the public.
Okay, thank you so much, Peter. So I would come to you, Mr. Francis. So from a digital marketing point of view, right? I know that marketing has always been to understand customers and, delivering the right messages to them at the right time eventually. So how would you say AI is changing that? How would you say AI is changing the way, businesses approach customer acquisition to their engagement and overall growth at the end of the day?
So from a digital marketing perspective, generally marketing has always been about understanding the customer's journey and delivering the right message at the right time. So you need to understand who your customers are. You need to understand when and how you can deliver the right message to them. AI is transforming how businesses are doing this. And businesses that implement AI to do this, it makes their data decisions faster, their decision making faster. In terms of customer acquisition, like I said earlier, the implementation of AI in your marketing, in your campaign, it will make sure that your ads or your campaigns are not just being shown to everyone. Because what will happen is if your ads are being shown to everyone, it will automatically increase your ad spend. It will automatically increase the amount of money that you are spending on your ads or on your campaign. But what AI will do is AI will optimize your target audience. It knows your target audience. So what it will do is it will show those campaign and those ads to the right audience who are most likely going to convert. Now, the conversion here is, it could be in your campaign, you are directing traffic to your landing page, or you're directing traffic to your app on Google Play or App Store. You want people to download your app, for example. Now, what AI will do is AI will make sure that it shows those campaign or your ads to people who are most likely going to download your app. And then that's conversion generally. Now, in terms of growth, I mean, from a growth perspective, AI allows businesses to move from reactive to proactive. Businesses can now predict their customer needs. Businesses can actually identify new revenue opportunities. Businesses can reduce time, like in terms of waste, the time that you take them to run campaign, optimize the campaign, check the campaign if it is doing well, download the data, check the data, then have to probably get insights from the analysis of that data. AI can automatically do all of these things. AI can as well build reports for you after you are done running your campaign. So you can get the right insights from those reports. You can get the right insights from the dashboard that AI will build for you. And then you can subsequently make decisions on probably where to spend more money on, probably where you can allocate the right budget or the right resources on. So basically, in a nutshell, I would say AI is really, really important for every business. And it shouldn't be implemented in everywhere in your business, right? As a business owner, you should always find the places where you are doing something repetitively, like places where you are doing something over and over again. Those are the places where you should implement AI in, so that AI can help you automate those tasks and save you the time that you need to do other things. So generally, I would say from the marketing perspective, AI can help businesses scale. AI can help businesses target the right audience. AI can help businesses convert. I mean, their ads, it can help their ads convert. And eventually they can actually make more money. Thank you.
All right. So, and thank you very much, Francis. So Francis mentioned something which is going to lead to my next question to Mr. Tomi. He said something about how AI shouldn't be everywhere, right? And in your major businesses. And then I just wanted to know, So as businesses tend to automate towards more processes, and they allow the AI systems to interact with their sensitive information and the likes. So cybersecurity is something that becomes very, very important along this line. So what would you say are some of the biggest security concerns that companies should be aware of when interacting with AI?
So the biggest and by far the most common is prompt injection, like I mentioned earlier. Prompt injection is basically an attacker, because how do we interact with most AI systems right now? It's by typing in free-form text or speaking in free-form text. So an attacker introduces some malicious instructions or even code into that free-form text, and that free-form text gets overrides the default instructions given to that AI agents, something called a system prompt, and basically directs the attacker to do something, or the agent to do something other than its original purpose. That's the most common security vulnerability with AI agents. There's obviously other less common ones, like there's data poisoning or context poisoning, where an attacker can, for instance, because like I mentioned earlier, context and data is important for AI agents. That's how AI agents know about your business, about the history of your business, and about your standard operating procedures. And a malicious entity can poison that data. Say if they gain access to a database that has customer information, or even your documentation, they can provide incorrect information or wrong information that could say, for instance, if I'm going to go back to customer support, if I'm looking for, if I want to reset my password, for instance, if an attacker has gotten access to your internal documentation, he can change the reset password link to maybe something that leads to his own phishing sites. And that way, the attacker has a way to redirect or funnel unsuspecting users to their own fake password reset page, and then he can steal your information. So that's the danger of something like context or data poisoning. There's also if you over permissioning of agents. So one thing what's special about AI agents is that they have access to tools. Tools are basically small bits of code or programs that can take action. Basically, that's what makes AI agents special. They can take action on your behalf. They don't just give you up, they can take action. And tools is how they take action. And typically businesses give these tools access to internal systems like your database, your network, your file system, like the documents on your computer and all. And that's giving unfettered access to all those systems is a recipe for danger. So one, you always have to be there's something called the principle of least privilege. So builders of AI agents have to be aware of this and only give agents the accesses they explicitly need. And when an agent, another way to mitigate the permissioning problem is human in the loop approvals. So before an agent carries out the sensitive action, ask the person using the agents, can I have access to this file or this database or whatever it is? There's also some other like niche attacks, like there's something called DDoS, distributed denial of service, but its counterpart in the AI world is basically it's called you can basically DDoS an AI agent by sending it very, very complex queries that would basically bog down the AI agent. The AI agent would think and basically do a lot of work trying to solve that problem and may not even provide you the accurate answer. So attackers can send like a whole lot of highly complex requests to your agents and basically bog down your agents with busy work while other users will not be able to access it because it's busy doing rubbish work, I guess. So another way to, so a lot of these problems can also be, these security issues can also be mitigated by applying the traditional security etiquettes from the security etiquette from traditional software engineering. So for denial of service, there's things like rate limiting. So you have to limit, it's a way to limit the number of users of your system or the number of requests that come into your system. So so someone like an attacker can make like maybe 500 queries to your system at once. You can limit it to maybe, you can do 5 in a minute or 5 in 1 hour or something like that. And then to mitigate issues like data and context poisoning, it's kind of related to prompt injection. And one way to prevent that is sanitizing all the information that comes into your system. So if you have a text box where someone types in information, always make sure you check that data to make sure there's nothing malicious coming in. Yeah, so I think these are some of the common security vulnerabilities that are common with AI agents.
All right. Thank you very much, Tommy. Okay, so I think I also have a similar question for Peter, right? So, like we have emphasized, we know that security and trust is a major concern, right? So what new risk would you say this does, what new risk would you say this creates for most businesses that, they haven't even thought about yet?
Okay, so thank you so much for that question. I'll follow up with what Tommy has said. So there is a lot of risk that comes with, implementing or integrating AI into your workflow. And one of the challenges is that most businesses, they tend to do these things very lazily, and they see AI as something that they can just depend on, something that will do all the work for them while they, take a nap or sleep. And that's a very dangerous, thought pattern. And with that thought pattern, obviously you're heading for a disaster, no matter the business you're doing. So one of the new risks that comes in with the use of AI is that it can actually make your output to be flawed. For example, what do I mean is some of these AIs they are built with the knowing to flatter you. I have to keep on researching to know the latest things that are happening in the AI space. And you don't use every agent for everything. So there are agents that are better at this task. There are agents that are better at that task. And without that research, you won't know. You just use them and not get the result you want. The last thing I will mention is, you have to know how to build harnesses around this agent. So there was a guy in my space who made a lot of, productive things with AI. So is in the security space. So he found a way to build an algorithm implementing this AI that could find critical vulnerabilities in protocols, systems, and all of those things. And he could do it, in a very short period of time. And the reason it worked for him was not just because he's using AI, but he understood how to build an algorithm that will make the AI to think in a structured way so that it can give that output. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Your answer is actually really, really detailed. And I think it also leads to my next question, which is around productivity. So I'm going to throw that question to Abisola. Hi, I'm back again. All right. So yeah, a major conversation around AI is that, it's supposed to improve the productivity, not just replace human efforts. Like we emphasized before, people use it as a plug and play system and the likes. So from a product perspective, right? You've seen AI projects go wrong before. So what would you say actually looks like when AI disrupts a team instead of actually helping it? And how should a company adopting it?
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So I think that the biggest misconception is that buying an AI to automatically makes a company more productive. We've embedded AI into our workflow. Yes, I think that we can do well. We can increase our revenue, we can increase our productivity, but that's like a total lie. It doesn't. AI doesn't fix like a broken flow or a broken process. If you don't have like a processes internally in your team and you think embedding AI into your process would make everything magically work, no. So what AI does at that point is it exposes, some of the issues that you currently have. I'll give an example. So imagine like a customer support team introduces an AI agent to like answer their customer queries. So on paper, when you look at that, you say that sounds like very productive win-win for everybody. I mean, I can go on to do other things as a customer support person while the AI answers some of the necessary questions before it gets to me. But the problem there is that if the company's knowledge base, if the company's product knowledge base is like outdated or inconsistent, right? The AI starts giving incorrect answers. Example, when you want to say that you are working with an AI agent, you should have fed that AI agent the necessary steps to everything that you do internally, right? So instead of you not having like a reduced work because of this AI tool that you've introduced to your system, what happens there is that you spend time telling customers that, oh, we are sorry, we actually have this product. We'll follow back with you next week. Some of the things that you could have just avoided if you had given the AI the necessary workflow that you have. Another thing is that I've seen internally where teams introduce AI into their workflow, and at that point, right, what happens is that everyone suddenly start asking, should I trust the AI to say this or not? There's like a lot of uncertainty about what should be done with the AI, right? And at that point, they just wait and say, okay, what can we do? What can be done next? And there's also like a statistics from that I always like find interesting from the World Economic Forum. Yes, that's the particular forum. And I always tell people that you cannot expect AI to automate every part of your jobs, right? And say that you do not need to increase employees, value or their knowledge skills or anything that has to do with their analytical thinking. You cannot rely entirely on AI for all this, right? So AI isn't exactly like replacing, your work. What you are doing with AI is it is changing where humans create the most value. So for me, right, I would say that successful AI adoption is less about deploying the smartest model into your business, and saying that yes, we have the AI and all of that running into our system. So it's more about like, designing the right workflow and knowing that, okay, yes, AI is an enabler into our system. So AI should help you scale, right? And AI should help you reduce any repetitive work. AI should help you deploy things, in a very, let's say, speed form, while humans stay responsible for the judgments, the exceptions, and also the relationship that has to do between you, your customer, your business, and your entire, productivity as a company.
Thank you very much, Abisola. So I'm going to move to Mr. Francis, right? So for startup and small businesses with maybe people that have limited resources, I mean, AI agents could potentially help them operate more like a larger company. So what are some practical areas where businesses can actually use AI to improve their efficiency?
Okay, thank you for that very, very direct question. So in terms of startups and small businesses, SMEs, it's normal for them not to have a lot of money, to run campaigns. It's very, very normal. We see this all the time. They have very little resources and very little budget. Unlike the big organizations that have the money, they can hire a large marketing department in their organization to run every of their campaign. But small businesses and startups can actually use AI to level that playing field. We've seen today how businesses can automate repetitive tasks. And when they do that, it will allow the team to focus on other things like sales, strategy, product innovation, and customer relationships. Now, I'll mention just two practical areas that SMEs can use AI even with little budget, even with little resources. Now, the first practical area is the customer service. I remember I heard Abisola she made mention about AI-powered chatbots. Now, that is a very good practical example. Organizations now are using AI-powered chatbots and even virtual assistants to answer common customer questions and even provide 24-hour support, 24/7 support to their customers. Now, what that does is it gives you time as a business owner or as an SME to focus on other things while you have an AI chatbot or virtual assistant to reply to customers and even provide support to them. Now, another example is marketing automation. That's the second practical example. AI can generate content, right? You can use AI to personalize your email campaigns. So for SMEs that want to run email marketing, you can use AI to personalize your email campaigns. You can use AI to schedule your social media posts. You can use it to optimize your digital campaigns. And finally, you can use AI to analyze your campaign performance in real time. This enables teams to achieve results as long as they are able to implement AI in every of their business processes. Now, from the digital marketing perspective, I have actually built an AI platform currently, and it is called powermarkup.ai. Now, what powermarkup.ai does is it is like an AI marketing employee for you, for SMEs, for small business owners. Now, what it does is it doesn't just generate content. It doesn't just generate images or posts for you. What it will do is it will automatically post those contents that it has generated in up to 5 to 6 social media pages. So if you're an SME business owner and you have about 5 or 6 social media pages, powermarkup.ai would help you create contents that are very, very tailored, that are so tailored to your business specifically, and that are also tailored to that social media platform. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, no matter the social media platform, this powermarkup.ai would generate those contents that are tailored to that particular platform, and it will post it on its own. It is very different from the usual scheduling platform that we see out there, the Buffer, the Hotspots, These are platforms where you have to get the content yourself, log into your business account, and actually schedule the post. But PowerMarkup.ai would help you make this post this content in up to 5 to 6 social media platforms. And you can do this for less. I said something initially about managing costs, reducing costs, customer acquisition costs, right? With as little as $25, you can do the tasks of a social media manager or a content writer. I understand that a lot of people are scared that AI is taking their jobs, but that's the reality. That's the reality. A content writer, a graphic designer, a social media manager, you don't need these 3 people in your marketing team if you have PowerMarkup.ai. Because what you do is, with little money, with just $25 or $27, it can generate content for you. It can also post this content on up to 5 or 6 social media platforms, and it will also optimize the time. It knows the best performing time to post those contents so that you can get user engagement. So in a nutshell, when you use AI generally, when you use it strategically, it allows small businesses, it allows startups to operate with speed, to operate with efficiency, to operate with agility, and even save money. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Francis. I like the fact that you went towards the part where people are scared that AI is coming for their jobs, because that actually leads to my next question as well. And I think I want to quickly throw that to Mr. Tomi. So from a developer perspective, right, would you say we are moving towards the future where, developers focus less on writing codes and more on designing the intelligent systems?
I'll say yes. That's the short answer. As an anecdote, at the turn of this year, my boss or manager or CEO actually had a meeting with the whole company and basically gave everyone the AI talk. Like, everything has to be done with the AI now to help us move faster and all. And there were a couple of reactions to that. Some people pushed back against it. Some people had existential crisis. Like, it was scary at first because, like, here is an AI basically doing what you spent a week to do in like a few minutes. But it's here to stay, and basically that's basically the reality of our jobs now. As engineers, our jobs now are not so much spending all of our time writing code, but more of like I said at the beginning, knowing what to build, knowing when, because these AIs are still prone to hallucination. These agents are still prone to hallucinations and going in the wrong direction. They still need a lot of context to do their work correctly. So it's the job of the engineer now to understand the scope of work he has to do, build the required context, build the required context for the agent to actually do that work properly. So we spend a lot more time now planning and building out that context, providing all the information, providing directions on what path the agent should go, should take, providing architecture guidelines, because an AI agents can build either something that's not scalable, or by that I mean something that wouldn't work with a lot of users, or something that's too complicated for your business purposes. And only the engineer knows that. The AI doesn't know if this solution is too expensive for your business at its current state, or if this solution is too simplistic for a business that has, for instance, millions of users. So it's the job of the engineer now to gather all that, to basically synthesize all that information and all that knowledge to know, like, what do we need to build, what's the overall plan, and basically if the AI agent, and also you have to be responsible for the outputs or the outcome. So you're responsible for testing, for instance, testing and verifying the outputs. So another thing that goes into the planning phase is to come up with verification steps. Basically, how do you verify that this feature or this software tool is doing what I want it to, or what the plan says it should do. So that's more of what our job has become. I haven't written significant amount of code in my day job for over 6 months now. So yeah, manual coding has really diminished. Obviously, sometimes you still need to understand what's going on, but yeah. Yes, the job has changed, and it's more about decision making, understanding systems as opposed to just coding. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so still on that note, I think I'll throw this one to Abisola, right? So looking at the future of work from a product perspective, what skill do you think professionals and business leaders need to develop to successfully work alongside AI agents?
Okay, thank you for that. So I actually see this from two perspectives. One is as a product manager myself, and now as someone leading AI product initiatives, right? So when I started my career years back, the skills that made me successful were, understanding users, solving problems, and working with engineering teams to build the product. So those skills are still important today, but they are no longer enough on their own, right? Over the couple of years, I've had to intentionally upskill myself. I had to understand how large model works, not just to build them from scratch, but to understand their capabilities, know their limitation, and also how to design products around them. I had to learn prompt engineering myself, learn AI automations myself, AI evaluations, and understand automation workflow. And more importantly, had to identify where AI genuinely creates value instead of adding complexity. So that's probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned, staying relevant, in today's market, right? And that alone, I would say, for business leaders, I think that the mindset has to shift as well. So if you are a professional, or you're a business leader in the tech space today, so it's no longer enough to ask yourself that, how do I use AI, right? So I think that the best question should then be, what capabilities do we need as an organization to be able to work effectively with AI? Just like what Tommy just said, that he had not written any line of code for the past 6 months. It's not like his productivity has reduced or the company isn't still moving forward. Yes, they are. So it just means that the goal or the way to get things done has drastically changed. And if it doesn't evolve around it, it can get kicked out from the whole change and transitions, right? So that means investing in AI literacy across the business, not just technical team, because I am not the technical team. I sit in between the business and the technical team. So investing in AI literacy is very important. It means that building a culture of continuous learning, because AI is evolving so quickly, and I don't think it's going anywhere in the next few years to come. So that means that strengthening the skills that you have needs to be your forefront, right? Because things like strategic thinking, empathy, negotiation, those things, AI can actually help you to create strategic documents today, but you still need to own that skill. So if I look at my own journey, what has kept me relevant hasn't been knowing every new AI tool, right? Because I actually don't know every new AI tool, but it's my own willingness to keep learning. I hear about this particular thing that is working out, I want to try it out, right? I adapt quickly to the change, I connect technology back to like solving the real business problem and also understanding the customer problem. So with this, I genuinely believe that, that the future of work has to do with you, being ready to be able to adapt. AI will keep getting better at executing tasks, but humans would, need to become even more valuable for providing directions, for providing good judgment, having strategic judgment when it comes to making business, cases, and also creating trust. So I would say that professionals, leaders who want to thrive in this tech space today, they need to, know that they can never stop learning. You just need to continue learning. So yeah, I think that should be it for me.
All right, thank you, Abisola. So still on that thought, I'm going to go quickly to Mr. Francis before I come to Mr. Peter. So Mr. Francis, Abisola said something around AI and how, it's still going to evolve over time. And we can see that lately with the invention of AI generated content. I mean, we see these videos everywhere right now on social media and the likes. So if AI is handling the contents, the outreach and the data, what would you say is left for the actual human job in marketing from your perspective?
Yes, from the marketing perspective, it's true. AI is taking over the world. It's now global. It's a global trend now, and for many businesses that haven't joined, they have been left out. Now, from the marketing perspective, in reality, what I would say is this: AI is actually taking over the tasks. I mean, in this webinar, one of my keyword has always been repetitive tasks, repetitive tasks, repetitive tasks. That is where AI is actually taking over, right? AI is not actually doing the strategic thinking. AI can generate content. Like I give an example, my AI platform, powermarkup.ai, it is generating the content, right? And it is automatically posting the content on all of your social media business pages, right? But it doesn't do the strategic thinking like a human. That's just the reality. Just like with every other thing, every other invention in the history of humankind, there's always a pros and there's always a con. One of the cons of AI is that it doesn't have empathy. It doesn't have empathy. So this is where a human being comes in. For example, AI can create an email campaign. Let's say, for example, you want to run an email marketing in your business or for your organization, but it takes a marketer to determine whether that message aligns with the brand's value. It takes a marketer to know or to check whether that message resonates with the target audience. And finally, what I would say is this: the future actually belongs to those who know how to use AI to carry out their tasks, to automate their business processes, and actually get their desired goal. AI provides intelligence, that's right. It provides efficiency. It helps you to grow. But the human involvement, we the humans, what we do is we provide creativity. We provide the critical thinking that is needed in the business. We provide the emotional intelligence. AI doesn't have emotion. It doesn't care about your emotions. Whatever you tell it to do, it will do it for you. So generally, humans, our involvement in the use of AI is actually very, very important. You can't just use AI as a standalone. You can't just work alone as a human. What you should do is find a way to collaborate with AI. As a human being, as a marketer, or as a business owner, as a startup founder, find a way to collaborate with the use of AI. So if you understand that AI is your partner, is your body, then that's when you get to that level of understanding that AI is your body or a partner, then you understand that you can actually use AI to improve your business, to grow your business, even to create better customer experiences for your business and deliver far greater business value.
All right,
so that is my opinion on that. Thank you
for that answer. So my last question actually is to Mr. Peter. So this is like a follow-up to the very first question I asked you around security and trust, right? So looking ahead, do you think trust will become one of the biggest competitive advantages for companies using AI? And what will responsible AI adoption look like in the coming future?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So yes, I think that trust is going to be one of the biggest advantages, if not the only advantage. The reason why I say that is because there was this interview that Naval made, and he said that very soon, everybody's going to have access to some form of AI. So we are going to have access to a form of AI. That means that it brings down the wall of what the advantage of speed and efficiency, since everybody's using it. Although we are getting to the point where, the more powerful model you use probably gives you better, output or something like that. But the point is, when a lot of people are, publishing or releasing apps that are doing the same thing over and over again, what is going to make the biggest difference for the users is which one do we trust? And the one that the companies, the businesses that are able to build this trust are going to dominate the market, because as we know, there's not going to be a fair share of customers. At a certain point, most customers are going to, gravitate to a certain product or to a certain business. And that the reason why that would happen is because of the trust that business has been able to build. And for businesses to, adopt AI properly and build that trust, I think it goes down to three main things, which, the other speakers have already mentioned some. So I will emphasize on that. The first one is, the business being able to find a perfect blend where AI output meets human judgment. So I know we are in that phase where it looks like AI is going to take over everything. AI is going to take over everything. But businesses should not forget that the quality of the human judgment also counts to the quality of the output that we can get from AI. So businesses have to find that perfect blend. Then the second thing is ability to solve real problems. I think Abisola has mentioned that over and over again. And the idea is that, many people get excited simply because they can build an app, or now AI is able to make things faster. But at the end of the day, if it's not solving a real problem for the customers, for the users, it's going to fade out. It's going to just be a trend. So it's just like when the internet era came around, and a lot of people getting on with internet and all of that, Amazon was able to find a real problem that they leverage the internet to solve. So businesses that are going to win in the next decade has to be businesses that find innovative way to solve problems using AI, not just businesses that are using AI to, maybe solve something that is already there, or a problem that already has a solution. But we have to think about innovative ways to use AI to solve problems. Then the last thing I have to say is identity. AI should not take over the business identity. And I've read a lot of books, and I know that when it comes to success in businesses, beyond what AI can offer, identity is very important, because that's what brings your customers to you. Why should your customers, come to you, not somebody else who is doing the same thing with AI that you're doing? And the difference is identity. So businesses should not forget to build the right identity that they want to manifest in the workplace. So it's very important that they continue to distinguish themselves as they apply AI to their workflows. So at the end of the day, that the right customers will always be able to know that this is the person I want to go for this solution. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. And thank you so much to every other person that has joined today. We have officially come to the end of this month's section, rather. So thank you, Abisola. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Tomi. And thank you again, Peter, for the opportunity to actually have this conversation with you. It's been an insightful one for me. I've been able to learn and unlearn some things as well. And and look forward to many more sessions like this. So yes, we've come to the end, and I hope that all our audiences enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you, because I actually have had a great time. So thank you so much, and until next time, I'll see you guys. Bye. Have a lovely
Thank
day.
you. See
Bye.
you guys later. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.